Hi, my name is Jessica Voigt, and I am a special education teacher at Sioux City East Middle School and a graduate student at Morningside College. The title of my research is The Impact of Brain Breaks on Student Focus and Academic Achievement in a Self-Contained Special Education Classroom. The problem that I was looking at is off-task behaviors. Students in a self-contained classroom spend around 7 hours a day in a self-contained room, with the exception of lunch and specials. They also lack freedom to move between classrooms like their typical peers. I was also looking at reading comprehension. Steinbrenner and Watson in 2015 suggested that student on-task behaviors are a major factor in academic success with students with or without disabilities. So when students are on task, it's going to increase the likeliness of increased academic achievement. I chose this topic because many of my students were showing several off-task behaviors to the point that it was really disrupting for other students. In addition, my students were struggling with academic success, specifically in reading, and possibly because reading is one of the biggest struggle areas for my students. I wanted to find a strategy that was interactive and that was possibly going to decrease the amount of time that my students were off task and increase their academic success. In my literature review, I was looking at physical activity. In a study by Irwin, Fedwa, and On in 2012, they used 29 participants and were using physical activity throughout during math, and they used CBMs to determine whether their academic success grew. And those students that were in that intervention group actually showed greater scores than those students that were in the control group. Doolard and Vischer in 2015 also focused on academic success for students. They used 86 participants in 4 different classrooms over a course of 22 weeks, and they implemented physical activity during math and language arts, and they all showed positive results due to those physical activities. Interventions used in this study conducted by Mead, Scarborough, Gardner, and done in 2016, they wanted to look and see if brain breaks would increase math scores. They looked at MAPS testing, which is conducted four times a year, and the MAP testing with the students that had stability balls and brain breaks also actually showed higher scores on their MAPS testing when they received those interventions. Miramatz and Schwartz also conducted a study using yoga and dance parties the last 5 minutes of circle time in a kindergarten classroom, using 3 male participants, all with an autism diagnosis. And prior to circle time, the next thing they go to is to writing in their journals, and these students with autism actually showed more on-task behaviors when they received that intervention. And finally, the CATCH study, which was conducted in Texas, teachers were given a DVD to promote brain breaks during instruction throughout their classroom. However, teachers were resistant to actually incorporating that into their classroom. Therefore, the study really showed ineffective because of that. There was really a lack of research in the middle school level, overall actually secondary level, but I was really looking more at that middle school level, and there really wasn't much for studies out there in the special education classroom settings. I based my framework around the constructivism approach by Jerome Bruner. Marzano in 2012 suggested that brain breaks create movement, which is going to increase that student engagement and in turn increase academic achievement for my students. And Cranable stated that in order to support a constructivist approach, students really need to be actively and physically engaged in the learning that's going to take place in the classroom, which is also supported by the theory that Jerome Bruner had with the constructivism. The purpose of my study was to find a possible method to improve those off-task behaviors of my students with autism in my self-contained middle school classroom and increase their reading comprehension scores. How this really will affect the field of study is it will just help to validate that brain breaks will actually decrease those off-task behaviors and help to increase academic achievement. As for me, as a teacher, it will impact me to know that I can constantly implement those research-based practices in my classroom as a means of helping students reach academic success. I hypothesized that my middle school students in my self-contained classroom would exhibit an increase in on-task behaviors, and their academic achievement during the literacy block would increase as well. Methods that I used was an ABAB research design due to my small sample size. I kept documentation daily of off-task behaviors, and I averaged it weekly. A pre and post test were given during each phase of the study. My independent variable was brain breaks, and dependent variable was the reading comprehension probes and off-task behaviors. My participants included 7 male middle school students, all with the autism diagnosis, all in a self-contained classroom and all in grades 6th, 7th, and 8th. I used several materials. The Jamestown reading probes was used as a means of collecting pre and post test results. Then I used ReadWorks passages on various grade levels and used the Unravel reading comprehension strategy while working on those ReadWorks. I also used GoNoodle, brain break chips, my sparkboard, and laptop as a means of incorporating the brain break. This is just some test reliability and validity results. Glencoe and McGraw actually stated that Jamestown Readers provides continual feedback to the students and teachers in areas in which they excel and need areas of improvement. My procedures, I had 4 phases that were conducted over a 12-week period of time. Off-task behaviors were recorded in 10-minute intervals for 40 minutes. Phases 2 and 4 were my intervention phases where I implemented brain breaks, which lasted 1.5 to 5 minutes in length. A pre-test was given at the beginning of each phase and a post-test given at the end of each phase. I used a dependent sample t-test to analyze my data. My results for off-task behaviors significantly decreased. My initial mean was a 47.12 and my end mean was 21.43. As you can see in table 1, these are my means and standard deviations for the amount of time that my students were actually on task. And table 2 shows my on task compared by phase. So from phase 1 to phase 2, phase 3 to phase 4. And then I also compared phase 1 to phase 4, where you can see that my standard deviation was pretty significant. Reading comprehension results, oops, let me go back to that. I showed a significant growth. My initial mean was a 41.43 in my pre-test, and my end mean was 80%, which is considered proficient. Here is table 3, which is my means and standard deviations for my pre-test, as compared to table 4, my means and standard deviation for my post-test. So you can see the growth that my students made compared to when they didn't get that intervention phase. Here again, pre-test and post-test compared. And again, you can see during those intervention phases, I had significant growth with those results. This is my Jamestown reading probes mean scores. And again, during those intervention phases, I had greater results. My interpretation, what did I learn? I learned that actually implementing research-based practices in my classroom is really easy to do, and it's definitely worth your time to incorporate those into your daily lessons. Really, to take your time and just read about it, it's pretty easy to implement within. In looking at past research, my results really are comparable and help to validate what research has been done in elementary classrooms before, showing that physical activity and brain breaks actually help to increase the amount of time that students are on task, and in turn, it's going to help them with their academic achievement. My results absolutely support my theory of constructivism, as constructivism states that my students should be actively engaged in what they're learning. Therefore, the students showed academic achievement and increase in on-task behaviors because they were so actively engaged in what was going on in the classroom. Some of the limitations that I saw are transition times between subjects and reward time for work completion. which my students received because of IEP work systems. It really limited the amount of time of instruction that my participants were receiving during the intervention phases. In addition, my students were all at different reading levels, varying from second grade to seventh grade. So I had a variety of different levels, which made it difficult for them to complete grade level work. My instructional design was limited to a small groups when I actually was teaching my reading because I had 3 different grade levels and multiple ability levels. So I was working with 1 or 2 students at a time, which created more transitions, which is going to actually took more time away from my instruction with a student. Other limitations included being in a special education classroom. I had a small number of participants. My participants had an autism diagnosis. They were only male participants. All participants had a behavior intervention plan. They also had multiple physical and aggressive behaviors. And the students lost time for instruction and assessment due to classroom evacuations stemming from participant behaviors. I had several times where I had to evacuate my classroom because of these behaviors that I was seeing from some of my students. Some implications are brain breaks helped really to build in a break from this for the students, and they really get a time to just clear their mind for getting away from that academic expectation for a little bit. It also helps to promote an opportunity for increased academic achievement for my students. Brain breaks also help to promote fitness within the classroom, but also outside of the classroom, which in turn could help lead to a healthier lifestyle in the future for these students. It also helps to support best teaching practices within a classroom and helps to empower other educators to incorporate those brain break interventions into their classroom, not just within my building, but also across the districts in my area. If teachers can see that these best practices work and are easily to implement, they're more likely to do it. Suggestions for future research include increasing the sample size in order to create a more in-depth study, including participants with all types of disabilities and not just limiting it to individuals with autism. I would also include a control group and experimental group with that increased sample size. I would include participants from multiple settings, such as a co-taught classroom, general education classroom, and self-contained classroom. Other interventions that could be used and added to the brain breaks would be the use of flexible seating, sit and stand desk, and incorporating it into other subjects such as math, science, social studies. Here are a few of my references. And then I just want to reiterate that really implementing brain breaks was a super easy approach to helping to decrease those off-task behaviors that I was seeing, and that it really validates the past research because I really did see an increase in the amount of time my students were on task, and their increased scores for reading was definitely worth it.